Hey guys, it's Brigitte with Sandy Seed Company and welcome to our YouTube channel. So every month we're going to give you guys tips of real life things that are happening on our farm or in our garden, things that I really think that you should learn that are going to help you become a better gardener. So look out for those every single month and make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button so you're notified. So this month's tip, I'm going to talk about something that is a really good question that we get all the time in our gardening classes and our online forums and all of that. When do you know when to pull a plant versus treat a plant? And that's a really big question. And it comes with years and years of experience, but I'm gonna try to break it down a little bit and give you some top tips if you're a brand new gardener. So we've got these tomato plants here. This is the Golden King of Siberia. Amazing tomatoes. We have been trialing, they've been fabulous. They look terrible now, but we've gotten tons of tomatoes out of them. And then on the other side, we have the pink Versaces, which are also really neat tomatoes. So first thing you want to ask yourself is, has this plant given me everything that I want? And now be fair, because as humans, we always want way more than we really should have. So ask yourself, have I gotten tons of tomatoes? Have I gotten lots of harvest out of it? Am I happy with what I've gotten? That's the first question. Because if you have, and your plant is starting to wind down, and it's starting to have issues with disease and pests, then it's time to pull it. Be fair with nature. It's giving you everything that it can. Pull it out versus going out and buying some product that you're gonna spray on it. So that's tip number one, okay? Tip number two is ask yourself where you are in the season. Okay, if you're in the very beginning of the season and your plant is super struggling and you've got some issue with it, then maybe it's worth treating it because you're gonna get stuff down the way. We're in September, so I'm not gonna treat any of my plants because they've already given me everything that they can. The seasons are changing, so the weather patterns are conducive to more diseases and issues. So I would just be fighting an uphill battle, basically. But let's think about if it's May, right? And you've planted your tomato plants and they're yellow and they're diseased and they're really not doing anything. You might want to ask yourself, well, is this an appropriate variety for my area? Did I plant it well? All of these different things. And if it's really struggling from the very beginning, at least in our garden, we pull it. And we pull it because I want plants that thrive. I don't want to baby it the whole time. And I also don't want to put chemicals and insecticides and excess fertilizer in my organic garden. That would go against why I'm gardening, right? So I know it's hard to pull out a plant that you just planted and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to lose time. But the time that you lose pulling that plant out and putting another actually healthy one in, you will be surprised. You actually don't lose that much time because the plant grows really well and very quickly compared to one that's struggling and not doing anything. The other thing that I want to mention too is if you decide to treat your plant for whatever reason, I really encourage you to use integrated pest management. It sounds like a really complicated thing, but it's not. So there's actually a fabulous website called UCIPM, and I talk about it in all of my classes. And you can go on and you can identify what pest or disease that you have, and then it tells you step by step the most environmentally friendly way to deal with it, which might be pulling the plant. It might be cultural changes, so not overhead watering your plant, different things like that, all the way up to what chemical you may use if you decide to. Now, I really want to point out something. This is a certified organic urban farm, and on this farm, we rarely, if ever, use any products. Sometimes we use BT, which is for leaf-eating caterpillars. I have to use that because they eat all my seeds. Or we might use safer soap. Those are two very benign products that we use rarely, but most of the time, the plant tells us what it wants. It's either been planted at the wrong season, it's not getting enough sunlight, it's getting overhead watered. We usually can tell by cultural practices what's wrong with the plant, pull it out, redo it, and the next one does great. So I guess what I'm getting at is if you're in a backyard garden, you should save your time and your money and not spray if you really can avoid it, and think about what you can do to become a better gardener to make your plants thrive. What I want you guys to think about is it is your job as a gardener to get your baby plants up and thriving and growing and being as healthy as possible so they themselves can fight off aphids and things like that might be issues. If you've got a tiny little 8-inch plant that's totally engulfed in aphids, it can't bounce back from that. And you might want to think about just planting again. And maybe it's because you planted, it's too hot, it's not getting enough water. There's other reasons why all those aphids are attacking that weak plant. Insects are really smart and they can sense the weakling. And so it's your job to figure out, why is it getting attacked versus, oh my gosh, it's getting attacked, spray, 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 spray. We want to change that and be more in tune with the plants to figure out what's going on. I promise you, your garden will thrive if you think about those things. Yeah, you're gonna be a character in the show anyways. It's a Seinfeld show. You're gonna be George.
Can I
This is George Costanza over here.
This is my Randall.
I don't know what that is, but my amazing husband.
Bye.
Love you. Okay. See, he wants to be a camera whore. You're gonna edit that, right? People love when I fell off the mulch.
Oh, totally.
That's great. Okay, prevention. So on the other hand, if you have a really big healthy plant and you're getting a little bit of powdery mildew, then you can start with prevention, which is always key. What is it the mother always says? Ounce of prevention is a pound of cure or something like that. I don't know, I always get those wrong. But the point is, prevent the issue from getting too rampant and taking over the plant in the first place. So this is too long gone, and I've already gotten so much out of the plant, it's not worth me trying to push it to give me more. So hopefully that makes sense to all of you guys. And remember, it's not, there's not one way to figure out whether or not you should spray your plant or treat your plant. It's a combination of tons of thoughts and considerations. I really encourage you to go to a really good source like IPM, Integrated Pest Management, and read good information about what's going on with your plant so that you're educated. And remember, it always starts with really good soil. Don't overhead water your plants, and plant them in the correct season. And right off the bat, if you follow just those 3 tips, I promise you, your plants are gonna thrive way more than they did before. Now that was our September tip of the month. Remember, we put them out every single month, so make sure you like and subscribe so that you can be notified anytime we got good information for you on how you can be a great gardener.